All right, guys, here we are, the semifinals, Pro Division, Blitz World Series action. Can't get the map quite centered. There we go. So, I'm excited for today. We got a bunch of good games coming up. So on the left here, we got Quos in yellow fighting out of Jordan versus Kian, of course, the Octo Kid in red fighting out of Russia on the right here. We do have, so this is what we got going on in the semifinals. So we did have Latov beat Marco, Latov going on to the championship. Quos versus Kian now, winner of that going on to the championship. The loser of this game goes on to play Marco in the third place game. We're running all that right now, action coming at you. We've had a long month, lots of bangers. And of course, guys, we're doing it again next month. We already got another map, so get excited. Regardless of your skill level, if you want to come play, join the Discord. Join the Discord. I got my schedules in there. I got sign up for the tournaments. We're always looking for new players.
Oh my God, what a barn burner, boys.
Artie, are you serious? Did you waste the barn burner redemption on the finals day right now? That's classic Artie, man. Classic Artie. All right, we're already kicking things off in this first point. Best of 5, guys. So this one is going to go quick here. There's not much room for error. This map's been playing so fast all month long. And I think, you know, keys to victory on this map, that Mastermind. The Mastermind has just been so decisive. A lot of players complaining about it. I think it makes for entertaining games. I think the spectators enjoy it. But yeah, personally, I think the Mastermind, it's a little too decisive, I think. Just ultimately, I think it's too frustrating for the players. I think there's a lot of players getting pretty frustrated by the Mastermind this month. But anyway, we have hit some bangers. I've been really enjoying how this map's been playing.
I'm blundering so hard right now.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm going to have to turn off the channel points. This is why we can't have nice things. If you guys are going to spam the channel points, I'll just turn them off. All right, nice bunker from Kian. And look at these conscripts. Both players pumping the conscripts now, and a radar comes out, so the conscripts immediately lose all value here. And Kian, the Octo Kid, nice build here. He secured the corner and then got down in the middle. And I'm surprised that Quas let him do both. You know, you'd think he would make him forced to do one over the other. Nice tank control here. Good use of the fodder from Quas. But Kian is going to pull ahead on this exchange on the top side, I believe, but never count Quas out. That's why he's the death robot. And Kian forced to pull back there as Quas comes out with way more fodder. Not exactly sure what happened to Kian's fodder there. Quas way ahead now, and the conscripts are going to push on the right side. Oh, the desolators from Kian. Man, normally I have like 5 minutes to talk about my life and tell you guys what's going on. These two guys, man, they're playing on a different level right now. Both these guys are just absolute machines, and nice use of the desolators to secure that Mastermind from Kian. So Kian a little bit behind here, but he does have the Mastermind, as desolators now out for Quas as well. Both players' economies looking pretty flush here. Oh, Kian's going to take a big bite, and that was a very risky build. When I saw those oils come out from Quas, I was a bit concerned. Kian obviously thought those were too juicy to pass up. He gets in there and takes them out. So Kian going to really try to protect that Mastermind. The drones are out from Quas, and he needs to thread the needle here. He needs to get that Mastermind off the field. He knows that it can tip the game so quickly here if used properly. Oh, grabs both of his desolators. Sneaks in. Kian sneaks in, grabs the desolators, now grabs a couple tanks, gets the Mastermind out of position, and does lose it. So desolators down for Quas now. And I like the barracks for Kian a little bit better here. Quas's barracks is a bit out of position. Oh, Quas doesn't have a... Oh, Quas's radar went with the oils. Quas doesn't have... Oh, and Kian gets a nice deso hit and able to pull himself out and then force Quas off the radiation into his sentry gun, into his hut. Very nice. Kian now on his own radiation, though. Kian on a bit of his own radiation here. Wow, and so far, just both players are real back and forth here. Quas, that was a nice offensive hit that Kian was able to get there. A couple oils and that radar, but Quas has caught himself back up. You know, he's on 3 war factories. Oh, no, yeah, so even war factories. His economy's looking fine. So, yeah, I mean, Quas, these guys on the back end, you know, we're at the 4-minute mark. They just have empires behind them already, moving very fast. All right, okay. No desolators. Okay, so now Quas back out with the radar. We'll see if we get some more desolators from him. Kian again making nice use of those desolators, and that's the biggest difference you see at the top level with these guys in Soviet versus Soviet, specifically the use of the desolators. They're just absolutely critical component of the game. The lower levels you don't see it so much. At the top level, it wouldn't be a game without them. Now Kian is Kian gonna try to get on the backside here, try to grab a war factory. Yeah, so now the tanks, and this map can be a bit tricky if you know, a lot of players don't keep that in mind, but if you build your base in the wrong way, you can create really difficult routes to get back and forth on the top side and bottom side of the map through your base. Your tanks can get routed a little bit wrong. And now a nice split from Kian. Oh, Kian's going to dive on that oil on the top side. He is going to get that oil. Now Kian on a bit of a radiation. Kian should get that, so he does get the oil on the top side. Look at Kian managing this split. It's like both groups of tanks are being managed. Oh, and now Quos gets the Mastermind. And Kian might have missed track of the timer there. We do have that timer in the bottom right for the Mastermind, and Kian immediately drones it. Kian just queued up drones and got the Mastermind so fast. That was incredible. So Quos gonna still try to push a little bit with this Mastermind, get some value while he can. Mastermind goes down. And Kian, I think Kian can pull ahead on this tank exchange, but I never know at this level because these guys, the little nuances in how they control their units can make all the difference here. Tons of sentry guns from Quos. Okay, Desolator's down now. And Kian's going to dive on the MCV, and Quos is going to accept a base trade here, but Quos is way out tanked. And Kian now building drones in his own base. Quos with only 5 tanks on his base trade. Kian spreads his tanks out. Kian now getting heavily droned as well. He goes after the power. He knows there's too many war factories. If he can't get all those, he'll at least put him low power. Quos without an MCV here. He wanted to get that. Oh, he's going to try to get the radar. That radar would be huge. It would prevent Quos from building any more Desolators. The radar stays alive, but Quos calls GG nonetheless. Quos quits out. Point number 1 going to the Octo Kid. All right, so first point on the board for Kian here as we switch over to Allied versus Allied. Someone in the chat asking what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on, buddy. We got the semifinals right now. So this is Kian versus Quos. Winner of this going on to the championship to play Latov later today. Loser of this going on to the third place game to bang out with Marco. Right after this, we're doing third place. Then we're doing the championship. All right, switching over to Allied versus Allied now. Quos doesn't have the auto. I'm sure Quos has an auto clicker. I think all these guys at the top level have auto clickers. If you're wondering what an auto clicker is or how to get an auto clicker, it's free, it's easy, you should get one. I have a link in my Discord. In my Discord, there's a section for new players, tips and tricks. I'd recommend checking it out. If you're gonna play Blitz, get an auto clicker. It's just absolutely a game changer. Kian doesn't need an auto clicker, man. He's got 8 arms. Latov, you don't have an auto clicker. See, the old school guys, it's like a sense of pride. It's like an old school thing. The old school players will tell you like, oh, I don't use one. Back in my day, like we used to walk to school uphill both ways. It's like one of those kind of things. But newer players, I recommend getting an auto clicker. No shame in using an auto clicker. I mean, the old school pros might say there's shame in it, but there's no shame in it. You don't need a mouse for it. You can just, there's a program you can get where you can set any key on your keyboard to click 10 times instantly, basically. All right, so GIs versus GIs here. That's what you expect, Allied versus Allied. Both players building on the bottom now. It was interesting, we talked about that. The lower levels seem to always kind of build up more, and the pros build down. I wonder why that is. Any of you pros have an idea? Why are you guys meeting on the bottom instead of the top? I feel like building up's more natural. Early sniper from Quos, but look at his money here. So Quos has to be very, very careful. He's not going to be able to get early eagles now, I don't think. That radar came a little bit too early and the sniper behind it, but he might not need to get eagles because that sniper cleared out the way for the GIs. We've seen these guys do this before. A sniper behind a group of GIs can be so deadly. Quos had that play in his book, and he executed it perfectly. And you look at something like that, you're like, oh, he got lucky, or oh, GIs are OP. That was just a really good calculation from Quos. That early push for the sniper could have put him behind had he not ended the game right there, but he took a big risk and it paid off. Very, very well played. Jordan, you're cheering for Kian? Yeah, the Octo Kid. Hey, but everyone's got to cheer for the underdog. Quos, definitely the underdog here. So it is 1-1. Quos definitely the underdog. I mean, so, you know, month after month, you guys, if you've been following along on Twitch or YouTube, you know, you guys know these guys, Kian and Marco have been in the championship the last 4 months, I think, 3 or 4 months. Usually, you know, the guys who make it to the semifinals, who have we seen? I think Quos, Legend, Berg, Luke, those guys, those are kind of the next 4 up there. So Latov's kind of an exciting player right now because Latov just got into the Blitz scene last month. So Latov, obviously, Latov took out Marco yesterday. For those of you guys who missed that, Latov did take out Marco. Latov's just such a tough player. Gets so much. That's why we call him the Deso King. He just totally flips games with his Desolators. So it's exciting to have him on there. Exciting to have players in here who can bang out with the Octo Kid and the GOAT. And Quos definitely month over month just keeps getting better. He's always been a good player, but definitely proving right now that he deserves to be in the semifinals. And we'll see if he can prove that he deserves to be in the championship. All right, so Quos again going to try to get value out of a GI rush on the top side. Kian just going to go double sentries. See if Quos, yeah, you're not going to want to go into two pre-built sentries is tough. Oh, and Kian gets down and grabs that power. And Kian continues the push from here? Wow, very, very interesting. A lesser player you'd expect to pull out there. Kian going to go right in. Okay, so he baits a pillbox. Maybe that's all he wanted there, just bait another pillbox. Now, the allied player opens a lot of GIs. It can throw off their economy a little bit here. And Kian already on... Kian's rhinos, just early game rhinos just materialize. I don't know where they come from. We're at 80 seconds into this game. He has more rhinos than I have by the 5-minute mark. It's unbelievable. Pathing is bad on this map. I haven't heard any issues with the pathing. It always comes from the loser circle, huh? Alright, so the GI's over from the pillboxes. Luke, no complaints all month long. And then all of a sudden the finals come and Luke's like, oh, the pathing's terrible. And everyone was lag switching and cheating. Alright, so Quas, I like that Quas still just routing these GIs around. A lot of times if you don't get value, you know, early on with GIs, players just kind of like fumble them and just send them into the enemy. I like that he's still kind of routing them around, using them defensively. A couple pillboxes now. That's what you expect from Quas mid-game here, Allied versus Soviet. Just trying to camp in a little bit, get his defenses up. Sniper IFV out now for Quas. That should counter those Desolators nicely. I'm not sure what Kian really has planned with the Desolators. They're just so easily countered by a Sniper IFV. All right, so Eagle's coming now for Quas. So this is the problem right now. Quas is broke. Oh, Quas tried to make a dive with the Sniper IFV for that crate. Didn't work through the radiation, though. And now Kian armed with the Mastermind as well. Yep, and the Rhinos are coming. Yeah, Kian's going to have plenty to send here. Prism Tower up, a little late to the party, though. Quas's economy finally now catching up with him, but he was struggling on it a little bit here, and that point's going to go to Kian. All right, so point number 3 going to Kian. Now going to switch over factions. So we'll give Quos now with Soviet. Quos, yeah, Quos. You know, one of the top, I don't know, 5 or something traditional players in the world. A very, very strong Soviet player. So he's definitely able to be a little bit more comfortable with this matchup. But as we've seen, obviously Kian, the Octo Kid with the allied arsenal at his disposal, can be a very, very scary thing. So let's see here. Yeah, I think the Mastermind won that one, Minka. Smash that bingo button. How do I rank the top 5 Blitz players? The top 5 Blitz players, it's kind of hard, I guess, month after month. I guess Marco, it's hard to say. Marco and Kian right now, I mean, maybe after today, that'll change a little bit. But in my book, you know, Marco and Kian be hard to put one over the other. You know, they've just both been at each other's throats. But Marco and Kian, I don't know, top 1, top 2, in one order or the other, depending on who's playing better that day. And then Quos and Latov for sure. But Latov, you know, a newer player, but Latov's just completely proven himself. I mean, just in the last couple weeks, what we've seen from him. So Quos and Latov right there. Next player on the list, yeah, Legendberg and Luke, I guess, are kind of all at each other's throats there for that 5th spot, I guess. Oh, the Super Dog. Kian with the Super Dog, and the GI's coming from Kian, and they're going to go right down the middle. And Quos out with a sentry gun. That sentry gun takes time shooting the dogs. Can Quos hold Kian? Oh, nice squash. But then there's more GIs. The GIs, if he loses the barracks, he'll cancel the sentry gun. Oh, he does get that sentry gun out. Just barely. The elite GI comes. And Quos on the ropes right now. It is match point. The GI's right down the middle. A fast one here if he can get the MCV. Oh, there's... Oh my God. Can Quos hold this position? The Grizzlies, thank God Grizzlies are made of plastic, and Quos holds that position. But there's a difference between holding off and coming back to win here. And Kian smells blood in the water right now. He's just hunting, looking for gaps in the armor. He knows Quos has his build order thrown off. He knows his economy is probably going to get a little bit in disarray here, and Kian wants to continue this early advantage here. You know, we've talked about keys for victory. Soviet versus Allied is the Soviet player getting value early on, just not letting the Allied player posture up. But certainly as a Soviet player, you don't want to get on your heels versus the Allied player. And that's what we've seen the GI Rush be able to do for the Allied player. So now dogs coming from Kian, and if he's pumping dogs like that, probably means he's going to continue to keep the pressure and keep trying to get value out of this early position. But Quas's Rhinos have caught up with him, and now we see Kian's economy that is struggling a little bit as he tries to build Rocketeers, bringing Rocketeers into this group now, and a Sniper, and an Eagle. So Kian is buying, spending much more than he's making, as Drake would say here. And yeah, Quos, and now Quos counterpunching nicely. And yeah, these Rhinos could clean out. No anti-air in this group, and Kian gets, or sorry, Quos gets the Mastermind. Now Quos with no anti-air in this group, but it's only one Rocketeer. The Eagles, oh, and the 2 Grizzlies get hit. The AFC goes down. Oh my God. Oh my God, you love to see it. You love to see it. That's a barn burner, boys. For anyone who's keeping track, we're going to match point. Both players are going to pick their factions. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, a lot of players, it's funny, all month, last month, everyone kept talking about how OP Allied was. And now on this map, in the lower levels, obviously Soviet, no one really plays Allied, but yeah, at the higher levels on this map, if you guys have been tracking the pros and quick match and stuff, Soviet's much stronger on this map. Which is interesting to note. So guys, this is officially a barn burner. It is match point. Winner of this is going on to the championship to play Blatov. Loser of this going on to the 3rd place game to play Marco right after this. Oh my gosh. Oh, my heart just stopped. Okay, all right. Okay, I don't know why the barn was burning for so long there. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, it is interesting. So last month, all we heard was about how strong Allied was, the GI Rush is OP, nerf Allied. But yeah, on this map, I specifically made a map that was very, very open. That was the idea here, was to try to kind of counteract, the difference of some of the previous maps we've had that were a little more camp friendly. This map's hard to camp because the problem is the center control is so huge. The Mastermind is so huge. If you do just sit back and camp, losing the Mastermind is tough, but also you have these corner techs that you want to protect. So you have a lot of early targets for hungry Rhinos, and it can be tough for the Allied player if you don't just totally resort to camping in the very middle, which is what I do in quick match, and yeah, at the higher level that just doesn't really work. All right, so, oh, look at these sentry guns. Kian over the bumps with the sentry guns. So sentry guns can build further than buildings. You can't base walk your buildings over the bumps, but as you can see here, defensive structures can. And Kian pulling out all the stops right now. Yeah, 3 sentries and gets the 2 oils. Yeah, Kian's playing for keeps right now. He had that play ready. He practiced it. He had it ready, and final point, he busted it out. And it was